So now let me just take 15 more minutes of time. So in the real time, as I told, the first process is like kind of a test design. So we have done the test design, and post completing the test design, we may need to do the automation. So which is nothing but we may need to do the coding. So like in order to do the coding, so we need the help of the file called as an step definition file. So which is nothing but we are going to create a package called as in step definition, under which like we are going to map the coding. So like how we have mapped the test design in the feature file. So in similar way, like we are going to map the coding in the step definition file. So just I'm going to add the package name called as an step definition. So I'm just navigating to the Maven project, and under the Java, so I'm just adding the new package called as an step definition. And inside the step definition, we are going to do the coding. So when the coding come into the picture, obviously, right, we need the help of the Java. So for sure, like we need to create the class file. So inside the step definition, I'm adding one class file. So let's say, so I'm just clicking on the Java class file, and let's have it as like class file as an Salesforce code. Okay. So now we have created the class file, and inside this class file, so we are going to map each and every statement, and we are going to amend the respective coding. So how we are going to map in the sense, so basically, so the framework will provide some feature called as an annotations. Okay, so we are having something in a framework called as an annotations. So only with the help of an annotation we are going to do the mapping. So when something start with at, we call it as an annotation. So we are having different statements like given statement, when statement, then statement, and unstatement. So how we are going to map this given, when, then, and in the sense with the help of the annotation. So in order to map this given statement, so we are having at the given annotation, and in order to map this when statement, we are having at when annotation, and in order to map this then statement, we are having at then annotation, and similar to for the and, we will be having at and annotation. So these are the different annotations which are provided by the Cucumber framework. But we haven't injected the knowledge of the Cucumber framework yet. So in the dependency file, so we have injected the knowledge of the Selenium, and already our project have the knowledge of the Java as well. And how we are going to inject the knowledge of the Cucumber in the sense, so as usual, like we need to navigate to the Maven repository. Okay, so in the Maven repository, so search with the keyword called as an Cucumber. So and after searching with the keyword called Cucumber, you may able to see Cucumber JVM Java. So we are going to use Cucumber with the Java. So just select this one, and select the latest version which is available. So the latest Cucumber version is like 7.15. So as usual, like I'm just clicking on the latest version. So we need to copy the dependency, and all the dependency should be placed under the dependencies tag. Okay, so it's still loading. So let it get load. Okay, so now I'm copying the dependency and pasting the Cucumber dependency inside the dependency stack. So whenever we are adding the new dependency, so we should reload the Maven. One and only if we reload the Maven, it will communicate to the global repo, and from the global repo, it will download the required jar file to the local repo. So now I'm just going to reload the Maven. So I'm just clicking on the Maven logo. So if you expand the dependency, So we are having only one dependency called as in Selenium. So now I'm trying to reload. So post reload, so what happened? It will download the required jar files for the Cucumber. Okay, so it will download from the global repo to the local repo. So post downloading, our project will have the knowledge of Java as well as Selenium as well as the Cucumber. So now you could see, so the Cucumber dependency are added up, and these are the Cucumber files which are added up in our project. So now our project will able to recognize the keywords of the Cucumber. Okay, so initially, so these are the Gherkin keywords. So the Gherkin is purely provided by the plugin, and these are not the keywords of the Cucumber. So this feature, scenario, given, when, and then are purely we call it as an Gherkin keywords. So and similar to that, like we are having few keywords for the Cucumber, so in which like initially we are going to use the annotation. So the annotation is used to map the respective statement. So in order to map the given statement, we should use at given. So in order to map the advent statement, we should use the advent. So let's take my example. Okay, so this is the example I have created. So I'm having the scenario called as an given user navigates to Salesforce application. If I need to map this given statement at the back end in the, that is in the step definition file, I should use the given annotation followed by open and close bracket, and under which like we should provide the statement. Okay, so whatever the statement we mention in the feature file, we should provide the same statement. So let's say I can say at given, and here what is the statement we are having? User navigate to Salesforce application. So I need to provide the same statement followed by the open and close parenthesis. Okay, so sorry, followed by the close bracket. Now after providing the statement, immediately we should create a method. So how we can create a method? In the sense, we are not going to create a main method. So we are going to create a generic method. So in order to create the method, we should use the keyword called as in public, and then we should use the keyword called as in void, and then we should give the method name. So like what is the method name? So the method name is purely your choice. So as we are navigating to the application, I can say, so like navigate to URL. Okay, so whenever we are adding the method name at the end, like we should use the open and close parenthesis, and I'm creating the block for the method. So here you could see I'm following the naming conversion. So which means like we need to map each and every statement with the help of the annotation, and inside the annotation we may provide the a statement. So let's say like we are having another one scenario. So let the scenario name be the sample. So and then this scenario is having some given statement called as an sample. Okay, so now what happened? So I'm trying to run this particular scenario. So when I try to run this scenario, so this given statement always look for the given annotation. So it will check whether the given annotation is present or not. So I could see like the given annotation is present. Suppose that it will check the statement. So whether the statement is matching or not. If the statement is matched, then it will execute the immediate method below it. So like here in this case, the sample test doesn't match with the username validate to Salesforce application, which means it won't execute this method. So for example, if we have an another given statement, okay, so where we are having the statement called as a sample test. So in this case, the statement will get matched. So as the statement is matched, it will execute the below method. So we should create the below method. So let's say like I can create the below method called as an public void. So just I'm creating as an method name as an M1, and I'm creating the block for it. So while executing this particular scenario, it will cross check all the given annotation. So it will check the first given annotation, the statement doesn't match, so it will skip this particular block. But in the second given annotation, the statement is getting matched and it will execute the particular block. And inside each and every block, we are going to map the automation coding. So let's say, so here I'm going to create the annotation. So I'm going to add the annotation called as an at given. Okay, and pose that like we need to add open and close bracket, and under which we should provide the given statement. So like the given statement is available in the feature file, so I'm just copying the given statement. Okay, and I'm pasting the given statement inside the given annotation, and post that immediately. Like we need to create a method. So how I'm going to create the method? With the help of the keyword public void, and you can give any method name. So let's say I am just giving the method name like navigate to URL. Okay, and then we need to create the block for the method name. So now it is throwing the error in the given annotation. So if you hover the mouse, okay, it will show you the import statement, so you can select the import statement. So post selecting, like you can able to see the given statement is imported from the cucumber.java. So whereas like if you observe, like we have used a few keywords like WebDriver, Chrome driver. So where it is imported, in the sense it is imported from the Selenium. So even from the import statement, so you can get to know, so from where you are, from which jar file it is get imported. So now we have mapped the given statement. So now after typing the given statement, so here I could see the number called as an 2. So when I place the mouse over it, it says it's used by two scenarios, which means this given statement is used in two scenarios. If I navigate to this feature file, okay, so now if you see the color coding, initially there was a color grading in the given statement. As the mapping is established, so the color coding became disabled. Now if I just click the control button and if I hover the mouse over the given statement, I could able to see the mapping, associated mapping. So we could see like it is mapped to the annotation called as an at given user navigate to Salesforce application, and we have created the method. And if you do the control click, it will be navigating to this particular method. And inside this we are going to do the coding. So what we are going to doing as part of the steps, we are going to navigate to the respective URL, which means like we are going to do the automation with the help of the WebDriver. So I am just going to use the WebDriver, and I'm giving the variable name of the WebDriver, and is equal to, I am going to use either the Chrome driver or Edge driver, and pose that like we are going to navigate to the URL with the help of the get method. So I can say, so driver dot get method, I can pass the respective URL. So now what we have done, so we have initially we have created the given statement, and then we have created the given annotation, and inside the given annotation, so we have mapped the relevant coding. Okay, so rather than writing the coding in the entire class file, so we are going to segregate, we are going to separate the coding with the help of the annotation. In similar way, like we are having another step, let's say we are having and. So if I need to map this and, I can say I should use the annotation called as an at and. So I'm going to use the annotation called as an at and under which like I'm going to map the statement. So what is the statement which is present here? So I can just click on the statement, and then I can copy paste this statement and post that like whenever you are using the annotation, create a immediate method below it. I'm just creating the immediate method. So public void. So this here we are just clicking on the login button, right? So I can say click login. So the method name I'm giving is a click login, and I'm creating the block. If I hover my mouse over the end, the import statement will be added up. So now the mapping for the and statement will be established. So you could see, so the color grading has been disabled. Just to do the click on the control button and hover the mouse over the and statement, so you can able to see the mapping, which means so the two scenarios will map to the same statement, okay, same annotation, which means it will use the same piece of code. So even here we are achieving the reusability. Okay, so when we try to go in this way, so the reusability of the code will be improved. So if I just do the control click, it will be going to the unstatement, and there is no rule like so you should map in the same order. So you can map in random order. So in the random order, in the sense like even if you note my example, so after given I have mapped the then, and after I have mapped the and after and I can map the when, or after and I can map the then, and post that I can map the when. So you can map in any order. So the reason is like it is purely working based upon the annotation. So whenever it is executing the given statement, it will scan the entire given annotation. Okay, so if the statement get matches, it is going to execute the immediate method below it. So in similar way, let me just try to map the then statement, or another easy way to mapping in the sense, so like if you hover the mouse over the respective statement, so it shows the message called as an undefined step reference. So there is another option here, it says create step definition. If you just click on the create step definition, it will ask in which class file we need to create. So just we have created the one class file called as in Salesforce code, right? If you just click on it, it will be automatically created. Okay, but in order to this auto creation to work, so at least you should create one annotation manually, and post that, like you can simply just hover over the mouse, and then you can click on create step definition, and you can just click it up, create it up. And in similar way, like still we don't have the mapping of this very this then statement, I can hover over the mouse and I can just click on create step definition, and I can just click on the respective class file. So the respective annotation and the method will be auto created. Okay, so one thing is like whenever we try to auto create, so the method name will be same that of the statement name. So but we should not use in this way, because like we are having some restriction, the method name should not be more than 15 character. So try to rename it up. So like we can say, like you can simplify this method name like home page validation. Okay, so here you are entering the username and password, right? So we can say, so like enter username and password. So likewise you can simplify the method name. So because like in case of an auto generation, so whenever you are trying to like generate automatically, so which means like whenever you hover your mouse over it, here there is an option called as an state create a step definition, so which we call it as an auto creation. So whenever we auto create, so the method name will be same that of the statement name, so you can just rename the method name. So now if you see, like we have mapped the each and every statement which is present inside the Salesforce login page to the respective class file with the help of an annotation. So we have used the at given annotation to map the given statement. So now we in our coding we may have two then statement. So like you could see, so here we are having the then statement called as an user validate the error message, and even here we are having one more then statement where we are having the statement called as an user verify the navigate to the home page or not. So how would execute in the sense, while executing this particular scenario, so basically it will scan the then annotation. So it will have two then annotation, and post that it will check the statement. So in which statement it is getting matched. So for sure, so it won't match with this particular statement. So it will skip this block, and then for sure it will match here, and whenever the statement matches, it will execute the immediate method, and inside the immediate method, so we are going to do the mapping of the code. Okay, so those mapping we can discuss tomorrow. And whenever you are trying to map manually, so make sure like while copy pasting, so don't provide some additional spaces at the end. Okay, because like if you see, so if I provide the additional space at the understatement, so it will become unmap. Okay, because in our feature file, so we doesn't have any space next to it. So if the mapping is not established, so make sure that there will be spaces at the end. Please remove the spaces. Okay, or for easier way, so better you can create one annotation manually, and post that you can create the mapping with the help of the suggestions. So you can just hover your mouse over it, and you can create the step definition, and inside the step definition, so we can map the automation coding tomorrow. Okay, so any doubt in this? So I will re-repeat quickly. So what I had it. So initially, like we are going to map the given, when, and then statement. So how we are going to map in the sense with the help of the annotation. So in order to map the given statement, we will be using at given annotation. So for when statement, we will be using at when annotation. So similarly for and, we will be using at and annotation and at then annotation. And in order to annotation to work, so we should add the Cucumber dependency. So how we are going to add the Cucumber dependency in a sense? So navigate to the pom.xml file. So where we need to inject the Cucumber dependency. So the dependency can be downloaded from the global repo, where we will be searching the keyword called as in Cucumber, and we are choosing the latest version, and I'm just copy pasting the dependency session and adding inside the dependencies tag. So whatever the dependency which we are going to inject, all the dependencies should be injected inside the dependencies tag, and post adding inside the dependencies. So do the maven reload. So after doing the maven reload, so the corresponding file will be added up. So then we have created the step definition, we have created one class file, and under which I have used the annotation, and I have provided the statement, and then we have created the immediate method. And moving forward inside this method, like we are going to map our automation coding. So like I have created the given annotation, and annotation, and then annotation. So whenever the statement matches, the particular block will execute. So like you can also remember the if and else if. So how we learned yesterday. So like inside the if, we have provided the condition. If the condition matches, the particular block execute. In similar way, so if the statement matches the particular block, the immediate method present below the annotation will execute. Okay, so then before doing the automation, like we should always ensure like you have mapped the each and every statement. So whenever we fail to map, it will throw the error, so stating that like create undefined step exception. Okay, undefined step reference. So got an overview. So if you get any errors in pom.xml file, so please do the like reload the Maven project. And if there is still error, so as I told, so whenever there is an error in a project, go to mail menu and then click on invalidate caches, and then try to clear the system files and do the invalidate and restart. So it will rectify all your problems. Okay, fine then. So if we don't have any questions, then we can probably wind up the session.